Welcome to the Agent from Within podcast, the only podcast that's here to develop the real estate agent as a human being, to help you get out of your own way, to actually align yourself to what you really want in your life, and then build a real estate business around that. We have to focus on the person behind the strategies. Yes, this is going to be filled with tactics, business advice, amazing interviews. But if you're not in the right place mentally and emotionally, you will self-sabotage your business. You will chase, you will compare. This is about creating the best race car driver, not just the best race car. Any race car driver can jump into any car and win the race. We need to develop you as a human being. This is the only place that real estate agents can actually focus on growing yourself and growing your business. Cheers. I just want to tell you a story. I'm a hockey fan, and I watched this interview years ago. Does anyone remember Brad Isbister on the Oilers? Yeah, we got some hockey fans. Brad Isbister, and at the time, Todd Bertuzzi was one of the top players in the entire league. We're talking 110 points, 105 points out of 82 games. This guy was amazing at the time. I know there's some stuff he did at the end, like break a guy's neck, obviously tarnished his name, but at the end of the day, this guy was the one guy that was killing it in the NHL. There was an interview done, and they asked Brad Isbister, they said, Brad, a lot of people are saying you're a lot like Todd Bertuzzi. You're a lot like Todd Bertuzzi. And he goes, what's the difference from the elite players versus the average player? And he says, the elite show up every game. And it just hit me. And I'm like, geez, I could go 3 days and not show up. Like if we started tracking how many days we didn't show up, that shows our average. Like if you want to get, like, everyone in this call has their own mission and their own vision and plan of what they want to accomplish. But I guarantee you, every single person on this call wants to grow. And the more you show up on a daily basis, not like, yeah, I had a good week or this week's on week. No, every single day, if you can show up, that's the difference between the guy that didn't even make the league long. I don't even know where he went up. I think he ended up in the minors. I think he played a little while and he just died out. Todd Bertuzzi played until he was done his career and he dominated, but I want to be the guy that shows up. So what does it mean to show up? Well, depends on where you're at. There's family conversations. There's personal growth conversations. There's what we're doing is prime your engines. If you want to prime your engines, you got to show up every day. Like if you don't show up every day, you're not going to go. Like it just won't work. Like you'll get going, but you'll never make it to orbit where you can just have a little bit of energy on a daily basis to get referrals and live on a good income without putting so much effort in. But now's the effort time, like a rocket taking off. You know, you've heard me say it again, like 80% of the fuel is used to get to orbit. Once orbit's there, then it's just little adjustments along the way. But a lot of real estate agents don't get to orbit. There was one time with Corey McEwen. I think it was Corey. And he says, okay, I've got a bunch of clients now. I said, what are you doing for marketing? What are you doing? And he goes, you know what? I'm just going to work on the clients I have now. I'm so busy. And I said, I just want to tell you, the moment you said that is the moment feast and famine's coming your way. Because it's a very difficult business. Once you start really getting going, that's when you need to launch more marketing. And it doesn't make sense because you don't have time. That's why you need an assistant, and that's why you need systems, because you cannot do both. The only way, because you think about a rocket, they go boom, and then they drop their engines, and then they go boom, and they drop their engines. There's like 3, I think, engines, depending on the size of the rocket, to get there. But a lot of times people just absolutely fire up their engines. They do amazing. They got 10, 15 listings. They're killing it. Even made $200,000-300 grand one year. And then they shit the bed the next few years. Well, it's because they didn't keep the momentum of the marketing going. And that's hard when you're busy. That's why if you're not an admin guy, maybe team. If you're not a businessman, maybe team. Or you might just have to change your expectations. But I'm all about hiring an assistant to help you, because once you get busy, and I'm talking about this, I'm spending a lot of time on this because we are about to pop. We are all going to win in the spring. I don't care how good you are. There will be a lot of buyers that show up and you will get deals. But once you're busy, know that your way of showing up is still in the asks, action steps, follow-ups. Scott, I was talking to you. You're killing it right now. You've got deals going like crazy. And I just reminded you. I said, dude, just remember, you're a machine on the calls. And if you're not doing your calls, your momentum's going to drop, and it's going to be like this. Click, all those deals get through, but that was 90 days ago from all the work you put in. And if you don't like do your daily calls or do your weekly, you got to keep doing that. And that's the hard part, right? So that's where it's hard, isn't it? And that's where it's like, but 10 minutes, just remember this, guys, half an hour a day. How many hours a month is that? 15 hours. 15 hours of phone calls. Scott, how many deals can you get on 15 hours? Because Scott's more lead gen guy and he's making his phone calls. I'm using him as an example. Scott, how many deals can you get in 15 hours worth of calls?
I can be pretty consistent. Yeah. For the week.
So that's only half an hour, dude.
Yeah.
See, we get overwhelmed. We get so overwhelmed with like, it's only half an hour of banging out calls on those. They're hard calls, but that's just your example. So I just want to always remember, this is why you're in the academy, is sometimes just to get a little check-in and say, hey, check in, guys, you're about to pop. And when you start bragging about how good you're doing, I don't see it that way. I want to check if you're actually continuing on with this graph. Because as you know, it's tough.
Can I just add something, Ben, to kind of say what you're talking about there?
Yeah.
Last week, I was extremely busy servicing the business that I generated. I didn't follow up on one client. I followed up a little too late, and she went ahead and bought with a
100%.
Quick. I like missed her by a day.
So let's think about that, okay? Let's think about all the, like, you would not have lose the ones that you're working on, right? If you would have said, sorry, I can't meet at 1, I got to meet at 2. Like if you somehow figured that out, you would have made yourself thousands of dollars more on one follow-up. This is why it's so crazy. We think about all these different marketing ideas, and I love this. As you know, I'm crazy into this stuff. But it comes down to like, why don't you just follow up? Like, hey, I want to hire a coach. Okay, great. I'm just going to tell you to follow up every day. Guess what? Coach paid for. Right there in that moment. So it's a really good example. Thank you so much for sharing that, Scott. It's not easy to share when you lose deals. So, okay, another thing, guys. One thing I want you guys to think about doing. I can't make you do anything. I would love it if it was just as easy as that. But that'd be more like communism and stuff, right? You guys got to do your own thing. So here's what I want you to do. On my team, we're doing this. Every single once a week, we're calling 2 of our clients. We're going to keep this. We need to build the system. I was thinking about this because we're really good at doing like a drop-off session for all our prospects or doing a big mass connection with video. But what if we consistently made a phone call? It takes you literally 5 to 15 minutes. Guaranteed you're wasting 5 to 15 minutes somewhere else. Guaranteed. So we're talking about 2 phone calls. Make it part of your freaking religion. Every week at this time, it's locked down. And you guys, so every week at this time, you say, hey, I get my assistant. She's going to plug every single person into my business. You can do, if you do 2 a week, how many is that? That's what, 104 people of personal touches. This is what I want to do. So I want you to, if you don't have your list together, this shows you why you need your list. You can't do anything without having that organized. So get your thing organized, put it in your calendar with a phone number. By the way, I'd be hiring this out. Please just ask someone for $20 to do this. Learn how to do that. Because if you're going to sit, you'll just do half of them and you'll never complete it. Right, Pete? Get someone to do these things, man. Go through your whole list. Make sure the phone number's right. Put it in your calendar. Friday at 9, and honestly, guys, 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, it's an evening time. Whatever you want to do, but you just have to guard that time and know that's the future. And you always go after the short business. This is long business. I promise you, guys, if you could know what I know, when I look guys in the eye across the whole country and even into the States, and I say, how much follow-up do you do? And he's like, I've been in the business 15 years. How's your follow-up? Oh, it's kind of, I don't know. How's your list? I don't know. Why are you talking to me? Because I need a coach. Frick, after 15 years, you need a coach? How many deals have you done? If you would have just kept that business growing, you'd have everyone referring you. Something's broken there. This is why I'm so passionate about this, guys. Put it in your calendar. Once a week, you make 2 calls. If you don't have enough clients, make 1 call. Or make 2 calls and then do it again in 6 months.
So you're saying once a week, you want us to make only 2 calls to our previous clients?
Yeah. You know why? Because you'll actually do it. But think about it.
Nothing.
Say that you want to bang them all out, right?
I'm saying, yeah, but for 2 calls in 1 week, you do that in your sleep.
How many clients do you have, Pete?
100.
100?
Hundreds. More.
Hundreds. Okay, then add 2 times a week, but you won't complete it. This is my issue. I'd rather have half my clients called with an executed plan, or even 25% of my clients called with an executed plan, than having like, I'm going to call like 5 or 10 a week and then we don't do it. And then nobody gets called. You see what I mean? I want to, as a coach, I'm looking for execution more than I'm looking for the best marketing plan. You understand that? But a phone call to say, now, how do you want to do this? I'd say, hey, you know what? I was just driving by and I just thought of you. I was in the area and I thought of you. How you doing? I thought I'd just say hi. Great line. I don't care if you're driving in the area. Or you can say, I saw this article in the paper and I thought about you. Boom. Find a reason to say, I'm just calling to say hi. I really appreciate you as a client and a friend. How you doing? How's Johnny? Make it personal. This is really important, guys. This is I like free strategies, guys. This is to build your referral machine. Okay, I'm going to leave it with you. I want to see who executes. Talk about it in your pod. Okay, make these calls. I want to know how these calls go. It's absolutely amazing when you can make that connection on that thing.